Hello and welcome to Katie on Tonal. Today is one of those episodes that I've been looking forward to for a long time because the person sitting across from me, he's Googling at me right now. I can feel his eyeballs. Across me is somebody that you've heard me talk a lot about on this podcast. And he is my wonderful coach, Coach Joe Rodonis on Tonal. And honestly, I have struggled writing or thinking about how to introduce him because he has been so pivotal in my journey on Tonal. A lot has happened since I've been training with Coach Joe. So today, this is what we want to talk about today. Not just Joe. We're going to talk Tonal coach. We're going to talk about Joe the person, Joe the athlete, Joe the coach, the guy behind the programs, the coaching cues, and all the things we see on Tonal. We're going to go back to where the story started, talk about 4 years on Tonal, what he's learned from coaching all of us on Tonal, and of course, what he's got going on now, his incredible decision to take on an Ironman. So I am truly so grateful to welcome Coach Joe Rodonis to Katie on Tonal. What's up, Joe?
Hey, Katie, that was great, man. It's a pleasure to be here. This is exciting.
I'm excited for you. I definitely question your sanity right now because
Why? Why?
because you're in the hot seat. Like we're normally in the hot seat in the classes. Like we kind of don't know where Joe's going to go. So you're in it today. You're in it today.
Well, that's true. I don't know what's going to be tossed my way, but I love this stuff, so I'm ready for it. I've been
Uh,
preparing for this moment, Katie.
you prepared? Oh, I bet. All right. So we're going to kind of do this as a workout. We're going to put Joe through a workout. We're going to go through about 4 blocks of work. We're going to start with a warm up and we're going to kind of go into it. And then we're going to kind of add with some, Joe left field kind of questions and put him in the hot seat and, maybe stump him for a little bit. So before we get into the meat and potatoes, see
Yeah.
what I did there? See what I did
Yes.
there?
Yes.
See what I did?
Yes.
We had to start talking about food already. So
Not going
first
to
of
take
all,
no.
right?
No.
So how are you? Like, how are you doing?
Honestly, I'm doing pretty good. Coming off like a pretty solid couple of weeks. We were talking about that a little bit, but I feel great, I love the work we're doing. I love the training that I got going on right now. It's keeping me really challenged. And I feel like I'm meeting some really great people lately too. Been fortunate to get involved in some pretty cool things. So yeah, we're doing great. Dog's good. Wife is doing great. Tina's killing it.
That's aw-
No
that's
complaint.
awesome. That's awesome. We have one question for you later that Tina's going to be a part of, and it's going to be hilarious.
Oh, very cool. Okay. We'll see if she's home in time too. Maybe she can join for that. We'll see.
So any new like foods that you've started, like meals that you and Tina have cooked together recently?
What have we been crushing lately? We're always like trying different things. Tina's a really great chef, by the way. She's a phenomenal cook, so she's taught me a lot. I've gotten more into like even Asian cuisine, as you can imagine. I mean, my wife is Chinese, right? So like I've gotten more into that. And so she spent a week in Iceland with her mom and her sister. And I was home and I was like, what do I want to make? What do I have a taste for? And I usually make like, like turkey burgers or tacos, or meatball subs, like these classic staples that I got, my spaghetti with turkey. But I was like, I want some noodles right now. Like I want some like Asian noodles. Like we have an H Mart across the street from us. So I was like playing around with like different udon noodle recipes, which I've never attempted before, or like soup dumplings. These
Oh,
are brand new things to me, or just like stir fry, you know? So just in
oh,
that space a little bit.
getting some culture in you. Getting some
Yeah, man.
culture.
Opening up the flavor palettes for sure.
No, okay, because I'm Irish and I'm definitely steak and potatoes.
Eating
But,
potatoes.
have you gone to the sushi? Have you gone to the sushi side of food? Will you eat
Yeah,
raw
for sure.
food? You
Oh,
do?
absolutely. Sushi for sure. I'm not a big seafood person. I will say this. Like, I'm not big into seafood. Like, we're talking like, like shellfish.
Uh-huh.
I do not like it. Even I've tried it. I don't even like the taste that much. So like, I'm just not even like into it. Plus, I think they're bugs. I have this theory that they're the insect of the sea. So I also don't like that. And I've had some experiences with seafood, crawfish. Like when Ash talks about crawfish in New Orleans, I'm like, that's all
Yeah.
you can have that. You can enjoy your bug like fry. I do not need that, man. No, but sushi, absolutely. There's some great like omakase places here in New York, as you can imagine, and like the sushi scene, definitely, 100%.
So I think the strangest sushi I've ever tried was sea urchin.
Yeah, that'd be a crazy one. Yeah, that'd be a crazy one.
Yeah.
The wildest thing I ever ate was before I was with Tonal, I was doing some modeling and I got a job out in San Francisco. And this guy was like taking us to a restaurant and he's like, we're gonna go to this like authentic place, sushi place. And he brought out a live clam. And he was like, this is a delicacy. This thing is alive and it was moving. And he would smack it with chopsticks and it would move. And he was like, you gotta eat it and bite down on it. That's what's gonna kill it in your mouth.
Oh my
And like
God, stop.
and I
Did
did
you
that.
you
I,
did that?
I did that. I did that.
Wow, Joe.
I did it.
Wow.
I did it.
That
I did
that
do it.
that is definitely a fact that I would never ever imagine that you would do. But
Yeah,
that
yeah,
is that's definitely some different. Yeah, I think sea urchin's the only thing. Octopus, yeah, but sea urchin was definitely like the weirdest. Wait, never mind. Hold on. When I was in 8th grade, we traveled to Ireland and we stayed in this convent. And these nuns brought down our food.
yeah.
And my grandparents were like, it's just chicken. And I looked at them and I'm like, are you sure? They're like, yes, it's just chicken. So I ate it. And then my grandfather looks at me and he goes, you know what you just ate? I'm like, what? They're like, rabbit. I'm like, what? I had a pet rabbit at home.
Oh, trauma for you, huh?
So trauma. I'm like, because when you go over to Europe, it's or you go into, anywhere, it's the cultures are just different. You have all variety of different types of food.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's the best part of travel is like just getting to know like what the
Yeah.
local cuisine is, honestly.
That's when I had my first glass of wine when I was in 8th grade. Because there's no drinking age in Ireland.
Oh, shoot. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, in Ireland, they don't. I would imagine you get born with just like a glass of whiskey in your hand, right?
Right?
Oh,
Because I saw you and Tina went to Ireland, right?
yeah, we did briefly. Yeah, we were there for a wedding. It
Oh
was
my
awesome.
God.
Yeah, where we stayed was really cool. It was like Powers Court. The hotel was awesome.
I was like in my phone, like I was like, I'm gonna send him like 10 places for him and Tina to go. You
Yeah,
guys need to go
yeah,
back so you can spend more time.
for sure. We want to go back to the countryside. We spent some time, like obviously for the wedding. It was beautiful where we were. Like that
Hmm.
hotel, was gorgeous, But we spent like a day in Dublin. We went to the Guinness factory. Like had to do that, right?
Oh
Guinness
yeah.
definitely is better there.
Yeah.
And then we had some good food there, but we only had a day, so we want to go back and like see the countryside for sure.
Well, speaking of traveling, where's one place that you and Tina have planned to go?
We have a couple big trips planned this year. Our honeymoon is this year. We pushed it till this year. So we are actually leaving for Porto Escondido in 2 weeks. So that'll be like our off the grid vacation. We've done this trip before where it's one of my favorite times.
Oh, is
Like
that beach place? Is that where you took all the pictures with Tina
yeah,
on
yeah,
the water?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It was
Oh,
like
awesome.
we sometimes find like this is one of my favorite ways to like kind of disconnect. Like I really love this is like I've done this for years too, like at different places where I would just like even try to travel by myself and just like kind of be in a spot and not move for a while. And so there's like these brutalist open spaces that are in Porto Escondido, like these beautiful homes that have just open air around them and they're next to the beach, but they're not really around major cities. So it's like super quiet. The last place we stayed at, there was only one local family literally across the street that you could order food from. So they were taking care of us the entire time, and there was just no one around you to bother you at all. So we're going back to that area, just a different place, and the designs of these spots are awesome.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Excited about
That's
that. Yeah,
that's
I love it.
wonderful.
Yeah,
That sounds amazing. I'm happy for you guys. I love that you
yeah.
guys get to travel because it's so like I traveled when I was younger and it truly is so special when you get to travel and, go all over. Like when I saw Tina's pictures from Iceland, I was like, and her outfits, by the way, Tina's
Oh, the
outfits
fits.
slay. The
Yeah, she always
fits.
crushes the fits, man. She's in such a great era right now. She is like crushing the fits, man.
I
Uh,
love it. When she was she was like when she was climbing like by these icebergs she was posting some pictures from her trip and I'm like, "Oh my
yeah.
gosh, that's so beautiful."
Yeah, it was a really great trip. It was like with her mom and her sister. So it was just like a nice little family trip they tried to do every so often. And the glacier hike was incredible. I mean, they like really were actually hanging over some of these glaciers, that would just go pretty deep. And they were like, these glaciers won't even be here, probably the next time you go back.
Yeah, because you and Tina are very outdoorsy people, right?
I would say we like to travel. Tina's not very outdoorsy. She has conditions. She will tell you this. She has conditions if we go outside. If we go outside, there's got to be an inside immediately that has controlled temperatures and climates. So
That's my girl. That's my
yeah, yeah,
girl.
yeah,
Yes. Oh,
yeah.
that's well, I mean, it is you get the best of both worlds, especially like where you guys are going for your honeymoon. You truly do get the best of both worlds. You have like your indoor but you're not surrounded by a bunch of people. I think that's the biggest thing with
well,
traveling. Is like you're
well,
like you go places and there's so many people.
yeah. I mean, we kind of travel a certain way now. I mean, so Porto Escondido is going to be like our getaway trip, but the honeymoon's going to be in Cape Town. That's in November. That's a big trip. We're going to be gone
You're
for like
going back to Cape Town?
going back to Cape Town for the first time since I lived there.
Nice.
Yeah, man. Really
That
excited about this one.
that's so awesome. Well, as we can kind of maybe people don't know, Joe actually lived in Cape Town for a period of time. And this is where he learned yoga, right, Joe?
Yeah.
Where-
It really is. It really is. Funny enough, yeah. That was like, yeah, I learned it by taking it, right? Like I had never done it, and I just found this yoga studio out there that I fell absolutely in love with. And I was like, I'm just gonna do new stuff when I get out here. And like it became something I did like probably 3 times a week. I went to this place, like at least for like 6 months.
That's awesome. Because I know Cape Town, you talked a lot about it, how it changed you, like as like when, like your whole life, like a lot of things you talk about, like how that area. So that's amazing that you're going back there.
Yeah, yeah. It's a special place to me. I mean, it was the start of honestly all this. I mean, that was like the first place that I went that really changed the trajectory of my life. I started making decisions differently and from a different place. So that spot gave me it gave me a place to like explore, like I didn't have the job. I didn't have I paid off all my student loans before I went there. So I was in a good spot where I was like, I can take my time and just like see where the wind takes me a bit. And I had never had that type of space in my life up to that point to do something like that. And it truly changed my life. Without that space, I certainly would not be here. Like it led me to New York.
Now, has Tina ever been there?
She
Or
has.
she has been there. So, okay. So you guys kind of both have been there before, but not recently, right? It's been a
Not
while.
super recently. Tina was there for work probably 3 years ago now, maybe 3 or 4 years ago now. She was there
Okay.
for about a month. She was in Johannesburg for a second and then Cape Town for like a couple weeks. So that was her experience with it too.
That's awesome. I'm so excited. I love when you guys travel because you guys show like all the most like I think it was your brother's wedding that looked like it was like out of Beauty and the Beast. Like your wedding as well with Tina. Both of y'all's looked like it was like out of Beauty and the Beast like theme. It was absolutely stunning. And I
Thank
love
you.
that you guys shared those with us on, social media so we can all live vicariously. And by the way, I loved the red bottoms in your wedding, by the way.
Oh, those were Tina's. You're not talking about me, are you?
Didn't you have red bottoms on?
No. Oh, they were orange. They were
They
Italian.
were,
Yeah. Yeah.
oh, so
I forget the name.
Tina,
No, yeah, Tina was rocking that stuff.
all us girls were fangirling. We were just like, oh, Tina's got Joe in the red bottoms because they looked red from the pictures.
Listen, I tried. I actually wanted to get red bottoms because Tina's got like a whole freaking stash, man. Before we started dating, she showed me her closet and it was just like literally a museum of red bottoms. And I'm like, I don't know if I'm the right guy for you. This is
I, lo-
crazy.
I love that for her. Yeah, but
Yeah.
how tall? Well, okay. Well, she's short, so she can wear those cute stilettos, and
Well,
she
yeah,
can.
I mean, she rocks them for sure. I mean, like she can
Yeah,
run in those things. I've seen her squat and sprint in those things. It's wild, man.
that is talent. That is
Yeah,
pure and utter talent to walk
yeah,
in those shoes. Like
yes,
very much so.
very
Uh,
impressive.
All right, that warm up was fun. I enjoyed that. So now we're gonna get into block one. We are gonna talk about his one of his new programs that he's got going on at Tonal, and it is Pumped. And I actually just completed 4 weeks of Pumped. And I just, I wanted to make sure the whole community wanted me to make sure to tell him that they are absolutely loving this,
That's
that they are
awesome.
seeing it as a muscle mommy program. They are feeling stronger. They are hitting PRs. They are loving the whole format.
Oh
So I
yeah.
just kind of want to like dive in and like talk about Pumped and where you kind of went with that. And it is truly an incredible program.
What's sticking with you? I'm just curious before we dive into it. I'm so
Yeah,
glad that the response has been awesome. I've been seeing you guys really get after it, and like the feedback has been amazing to watch. Because you never know like how far it's going to go, right? Um,
right.
because it was a new format for me too, like the 30-minute and like a 5-day split and all that. So it's been incredible. But I'm curious, like, what have you gotten the most from it? Like, what's been hitting?
I think it's been the recovery. And that seems to be a trend going with a lot of the members is that
Mm,
we are able to pack in those 30 minutes, but we are able to recover fast enough to be able to hit it again. And I think that's the thing with, especially for me, I can say I'll speak for myself is leg days. They take a lot out of my grip, they take a lot out of my lats,
yeah,
and it's harder sometimes as I get older is to bounce back as fast to be able to hit it again. Because,
yeah,
like Joe coaches us and tells us, bench press is a full body movement. It uses your legs, use your legs.
yeah,
And I think with this program, it in 30 minutes, like the best way that I explained it to people is kind of hit it and quit it. Like you get in there, you focus, you really dial into the moves that are in this program, and it is it is like chef's kiss. Like it is truly really really good. And how we have the higher volume in week 2 is that you're able to build up like using it as a week 1 is like you always talk about, week 1 is like your prep week. Like you get used to the sequences, you learn the moves, you learn how it's feeling, where you need to dial in at. And then week 2, you're building that endurance, that practice, which I like because then in those endurance, you're not really lifting the heaviest, but you're adding volume and you're dialing in on what you noticed was a weak point in your week 1. And
right.
then week 3 and week 4, you just hammer it. And
Mm-hmm.
it's just like we're all like I think we're all hitting failure in the benches. That was definitely one that has been a hot with the group. Like they're like, I can't finish. Like some of us couldn't finish. Like I couldn't finish. I had to tap out.
Oh, like on the last block.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I mean, it makes sense. It's a lot of chess, like, in a short amount of time, you know? So you're really getting it. And then if the weights are set, like, at your, kind of like your maybe RP 8, 9, it's gonna be yeah, it's gonna be tough. So, like, a weight reduction there definitely is completely okay, or, like, hitting failure, you know?
and I think it's just and for us women, we like hitting the glutes. Glutes are always, more women just want to focus on that glute area. And
Yeah.
with you adding sumo deadlift and the RDLs, it's a game changer. And
Right
I
to the
think it
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, me and Woody talk about that sometimes, we joke, because she's the queen of leg day, right? Like, she's
y
the queen. And, she always makes fun of me that I'm like, every day is chest day, right? So so we joke about this all the time, but it's true, man. It's true. Like, men wanna hit chests every day on Monday, and women wanna hit glutes every day on Monday, right? It's the reverse. So, like, it's like our jobs to, like, make sure that we're getting everybody a little dose of both, right?
right.
So that we're getting full body experience. But yeah, I wanted to get this, like, very to the point. I mean, that was, like, the entire design thought with Pumped was just it's like no nonsense. You don't have time to waste and you're just trying to maximize the 30 minutes. And so even the movement selection was like, what's the most direct right to the muscle that you're trying to work, way that you could get it done, So it's certainly not like, there's some programs that you're looking to get like functional movement in and you're trying to get like these lateral variations or a lot of single leg work or one-sided type work. And you need those throughout the course of like your year and your training and stuff like that. But this was really like, let's simplify it. I wanted to just get right to the what gives you the biggest bang for your buck in a short amount of time. Like, if I had 30 minutes, what was I going to do to get like a really solid workout in, but also make progress at the same time? And yeah, that was the whole idea.
And then another thing a lot of the members are asking is how, because I'm a huge repeater. I have an issue with repeating programs. I will take them until the cows come home.
Oh,
But
sure.
how many times could somebody stay in pumped? Like when
Well,
could you see that diminish of return to where you might need, what, like possibly an accumulation with, more accumulation with something like this if you take for a longer period of time, or what would be something for a long trajectory with pumped?
it's a good question. I think a good general rule of thumb, because it's a little bit different for everybody based on where you're at, but I would say like 2 to 3 months is kind of like a good range. Stay in like 3 month progressions or phases of periodization and still see great results, because there's enough change week to week that you're going to continue to see these adaptations occur. And like the idea is, it's always the same idea, right? Like you're scaling up within the program week 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you have a period to scale back. And that's where you have all the gains that you were starting to realize and work on. Like fatigue starts to overtake those realizations. So
Hmm.
you have to scale back. But then when you get back into the program, your week 1 and month 2 is just at a higher starting point. So your execution just gets better and better. So a general rule is like 3 months. I think 2 is like a good run back. Then having something in between, and then you can always come back to a program like this. You can always recycle it again. But yeah, as long as you are feeling like the body is feeling good with the work, as long as you're seeing the weights increase, or at some point it's just like the control and the ease of the work, it just feels a little bit more like what was really challenging to you becomes like, man, this feels like a routine day now. Like that's always a
Okay.
goal for progress. You know what I mean?
Okay. Because like I said, everybody's just absolutely loving it, and they're kind of just it's hitting a sweet spot.
Oh
And
yeah.
I think it's, because I've definitely, the 8 rep range for me is a struggle because I've always been in power build, which is that lovely 5 rep range,
Yeah.
or I'm in the house of volume rep range. So doing a program like this where it's pushing me, like Unleashed it as well, and with the 8 rep ranges, because
Yeah.
I was never in that rep range for a long period of time. Because like we've trained together for 4 years, and always new programs are coming out, always new techniques are coming out. It's always evolving,
Hmm.
and I had kind of gotten into this where I'm either in the 5 rep range or I'm in the accumulation. So adding the 8 rep range was a weakness for me.
Oh,
It
interesting.
it it was definitely a humbling experience, to say the least, and it was just a whole learning curve for me, is gauging at my intensity on what it should be for an 8 rep range.
Huh. What were you noticing? Like, what was the sticking point? What was the challenge?
I was hitting failure way too fast.
Like at rep like 6?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And I just was struggling to recover, and that's what, like, it's almost like when you train in the same things for such a period of time, like I could do power build with a blindfold, right? I could be Coach Joe in that whole entire program and speak every single word. That's how well I know that
You
program,
know better than I do at this point, Katie, to be honest with you. It's been so long.
right?
Yeah.
And it's just like I didn't push myself. Like, we'll kind of get into your whole Ironman training here in a second, but it kind of pushed me into that uncomfortable spot.
Yeah.
It, and I think more times I need to do that, because I do have a habit of like sticking in that comfort zone. What I know, right? Like I know what Power Build can do. I know what House of Volume can do. I
Yeah.
know I know those programs, but it's just like when new stuff comes in, it's just like my body just takes a moment. And like, I know we've talked about when Pumped got unleashed, I was like, okay, this is kind of like where I want to go. Muscle and
Mhm.
size is always my goal, and stay explosive, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So when I got into Pumped, I was like, okay, I was feeling it out, feeling it out. And then, I think it was the settings that were holding me back, because whether or not, yes, I was pushing for PRs, but my 8 rep range was too much for what I was able to control.
Mm.
So dialing the weight back in Pumped has been a absolute game changer for me.
Yeah. I mean, you just got to do that. I mean, you just have to, you know? It's one. I mean, it's simple advice, but honestly, this is the most common piece of advice that I give anybody. But even if we were in the gym, is like scale the weight back. Like there's an adaptation happening. I was doing it myself. Like I was in the gym doing a different variation of step ups because like I'm experimenting right now with like different ways of training to support my Ironman, right? And I haven't been in strength training like this, and in a minute, and I'm like trying to see like what my body's responding to and the sequences that I'm like liking or in need. And I was just in there the other day doing a step up variation that I was like, oh, I usually do this with like a 70. I'm just going to go ahead and like rock this out. And like I get up and I couldn't get my hip fully forward. Right. And like where I'm at the gym where I'm like, people are watching me that are usually like in this gym and like see me. And like there's that moment of like, yo, just keep the weight, like, and do this. Right. But I was like, I
Right.
got to shit down. Like just take it down and learn the movement. Cause like the broader lens on this is like, I'm going to be hammering this for 4 weeks to, I don't know, 16 weeks. You could be like in a progression here where you're building. So why do I care if I'm doing a lighter weight right now? Like the goal isn't like to kick ass today. It's to kick ass later. Like I need to build and support myself in a weight that I can do and control. And that's the only way that you can progress. Like you cannot skip a step. It
Right.
only the injury or limitations, right? You're like reinforcing bad habits as well. And that's how people like shorten reps and all of that, like you got to keep the whole system connected. And um we feel different each day too, depending on what your week was like and other activities that you've had. You might be a little bit like tired a certain session, so anytime I feel like that, I'm always like, let me take it down to I usually measure based on RPE even more than I do weight, because the more seasoned you get in your training, the weight number you're using, certainly like it means something, but it doesn't mean everything, right? Like it's one data point, right? I'm not going out to try and win a bench press competition, right? I'm training for longevity. I'm training for performance. I'm training for muscle growth, like something more long term. So, scale it down and work the movement and let it build up, safely.
And is there something like something that I've noticed as, like I said, taking all your programs is like I've taken School of Gains, which is
Mm,
a beginner program. That's another program that's one of my heavy hitters.
yeah,
And it is a beginner program, but the weight load in that and like I feel like sometimes when I'm low in my lower rep range, I have more muscle growth. Does that make sense? Like I feel like I'm getting more out of it versus when I'm just trying to load it. I don't know if it's, possibility that I'm using other muscles to either get a weight up or I'm using momentum. But when I dial the weight back, I feel like I'm more conscious of the whole entire movement. And I feel
yeah.
like I get better results that way.
Well, there tends to be like a bit more of a connection, and gives you a chance to really feel the supporting muscles around a movement. It's a great way to warm up. Like I do this often with like all of my lifts. Like I'll slow down the movement at a lighter weight and intentionally go slower and even do like partials and pauses and like pulses within the movement to feel the line and to feel the supporting muscles throughout the different points of the movement. Like on the bench press, we would do this all the time, like taking it slow on the way down, let it pause and rest on the chest, and then work on the scoop and like only go up like 10%. Just feel the scoop and down, scoop and down, scoop and down. And then you would go halfway up, halfway down, and then go slow up. You start to feel like how everything activates. You can do that with your deadlifts, because the lighter weight, is how you create that connection to feel the muscles work, because it changes throughout the entire range of motion, right? At
Right.
different, and so if it's the weight's too heavy, you don't have the space to really think about that or feel that. You're because there's other factors now too. You're like scared of getting the weight up. You're scared of like, can I get this weight up? So you have to build confidence to get in there so that when you get to the heaviest weight, you have already built that, association. And so that when you go into it, you're not changing your movement. That's why it's a skill, like practicing a golf swing or a baseball swing or pitching mechanics, whatever it is. Just because the velocity is going to get more aggressive doesn't mean that, the mechanics change. If anything, you stay more in line and more connected. You just built such a skill set with it that you can stay in it and feel very confident, in it.
Right. And I think that's something, especially with like women that, with women and muscle building, is that we're in that fear that if we scale back, we're going to lose traction or we're going to lose, momentum or we're going to, and that's something that like, with my journey that, I've been also trying to show is that like what you've instilled in me is that 100% is going to look different. It does not mean that that training session or, that program was not effective. And
Yeah.
I think sometimes we are harder on ourselves when realizing that the work and the results are still working for us.
Yeah. This is a big point. Let me adjust my light, Katie. I feel like it's getting
Okay,
dark. And this is a good point. I don't have lighting in here. Okay, that's probably better.
there we go.
These New York apartments. I didn't want to feel like I mean, I do sit in a bat cave, but I just
We know you're Batman, Joe. We know you're Batman.
okay. So no, you're not losing progress. In fact, you're probably making it. Like this is kind of the difference between like, someone who's somewhat starting out like newer to this like lifting, like you're learning, right? Versus someone who's like a professional, been doing this and very seasoned. This is one of the biggest paradigm shifts that starts to happen. And this is across really any discipline, right? So you just for simplification, you can say like the amateur versus the professional, right? And so like right now, I am very much an amateur in swimming. And so I'm making a lot of mistakes that I probably don't even know exist right now within the swimming world that in probably like 5 years from now, if I continue on this path, I'm going to be looking at this and being like, man, you were making some really silly mistakes. Like I was probably working harder than I had to when I needed to. And like something that I'm learning even with running is that most of your runs are actually done at a comfortable zone too. Push like fast paced redlining. Like it's the same idea with weightlifting. Like the principles carry over. And this is a very important thing to understand. Principles are truths of the universe. It applies to everything. You got to understand principles. So like if I'm in zone two, that's the same as lifting at like an RPE of 6 or 7, like 60 or 70% of my weight. That is a comfortable, I can maintain this. I feel good in the position. I'm still getting a challenge, but it's within my control. I'm like good here, right? And then there's that time where you redline, right? And that's your maxes. This is like you're getting RPE like 9, 10. We're going like all out today. You want to do that, but you do not want to do it all the time. There has to be a calculation to do it. So there's a lot of ways to do that. Maybe it's within the week. You have a failure set at the end of your, set. Maybe it's at the end of the month. You have like a peak week where you're like, I want to test what this is. There's different ways to do it, but it might be like only like 10% of like what you do, you know? You really got to build up the support. And if we're talking about like muscle growth and like basically, I mean, the best people that do it in the world are bodybuilders, right? That's what they
Right.
do. The science is very clear on this. Like it's not a debate at all anymore. It's mechanical tension. So it's not the weight, it's the tension that you're creating in the rep. And it's the controlled eccentric and the stretch that you can create. That is what drives muscle growth. So the fatigue with that comes from exhausting the muscle because you're lengthening and slowing the movement down. So it creates that fatigue where a lighter weight starts to feel very heavy. And if you had a heavier weight or what you thought is your heaviest weight trying to do that, well, you're probably rushing your eccentric. You're probably rushing that. You're probably shortening the range that you can get. It's natural, right? Like if I get ass bench and like I feel like I can't control it, I want to get that thing off me as fast as possible. I'm like, I don't know if I got, you know? Like if I'm
Right.
gonna lift, I'm just trying to be like, get this, that's where you get out of control, man.
Yeah.
Earn the lift, earn the weight.
Yeah. And I think it's like, as because women right now, like the high conversation now is put on as much muscle mass as possible, learning how to build muscle, osteoporosis, all these things that start
Oh
happening
yeah.
for us as we age. Pumped for me, I don't remember, is pumped an advanced program or is it intermediate?
Yeah, I believe it is advanced. Yeah.
It is
I think
advanced.
that's like all I make now. Let me
But the
look.
thing of it, but the thing of it is with Pumped is with any program. If you're new to listening here, I do
Yeah,
tonal
there's this.
orientations for new members. Is you always let the program meet you where you are, and the pause button is your friend. And I think, especially sometime with me when I was learning how to lift. And I was a newbie, you know, my little small self when I started, I was literally like, okay, this guy is like a linebacker and this guy is going to teach me how to lift. And I think that's one of the things that to kind of look at a program like when you're first starting out is what can I learn from it? Instead of what can I get from it? Like
Oh,
what can I learn from this experience or this program? Because I think because I think it's what you coaches bring and what you bring to a program. It doesn't matter if the what the weight number is, it's what you're learning from it. And that's what I tell people all the time with my journey is I'm like, if you just listen. Like, I'm telling you, you will go 10 times farther and humble yourself and know that you don't know everything and learn from these people because that is your success. I said they are here to help you. And I said if you take that help in these classes and these programs, you get more.
yep. It is the message. Look, I've been doing this myself for a long time, not as a coach, just training myself and like, being an athlete or trying to get in shape, etc. And years as a coach in this city, I've been around some of the best in the world. I've been around some of the best athletes in the world. I continue to see some of these people do insanely incredible things, like the top of their game. And I've worked with so many different people, and you see different solutions in the industry, right? Like this piece of equipment, this 30-day program, this, that, and the other. And the
Mhm.
biggest lie ever told or under like believed by by my younger self, even, right, when I'm like 16, 17, is that there's an end, that there's like a final solution, there's like this, I will get here and I'm done, like there is a I did it and it's over, or if I just do this one thing, or there's a perfect method, or there's a blah blah blah. It doesn't exist. The best athletes in the world are still training every day. There's no technology. Like technology, like Tonal creates access, right? It
Yes.
creates the best part about Tonal is that it removes all the barriers to entry that people had with strength training. So like that's technology at its best, like intimidation, access, like lifting in a gym and being like scared of and not knowing what to do, program guidance, right? Like we know that programs work, but like what's the right one in the coaching? Like Tonal provides all that. So it like knocks down all the walls so you can just work. But the thing that
Mhm.
technology can never ever get rid of, and advancements for the rest of our time, is the effort. Like like this is mastery of you. And so learning this stuff into a long-term game is really just like you said, like there's not an end date. I got this, I say this a lot now, but I got this from Simon Sinek. He said, from in a business context, but he said there's an idea of the infinite game, that in business, like in capitalism, you think that there's this I'm going to win kind of date, right? Like I'm going to build this product and I'm going to sell it off, or somebody's going to buy me and like I've won, like I've hit the lottery kind of a thing. But he's like, but it doesn't exist that way. Like the point of the game is to stay in the game. It's to evolve within the game itself. So you winning becomes, how long can I continue to do this and do this really well? And so training needs to become, for me, it has evolved into this, that it is an art form. It is an evolution. It is tied to your human development. It should be changing to meet the demands of your life head on, to make you meet your life better. Shouldn't tie yourself to a one program, one method, one style. You should be open to an evolution because your interests are going to change. And so as you're taking these programs, to your point, you should be soaking up and learning the principles of what make these programs work. Because over time, if you do that, and this is what I've been able to do, is like you can start to create your own programming that fits you so well because you understand the principles that make it work, right? It's like the recipe that gets you the results that you want. So you know, if I connect A and B, it's going to get me this, right? But then it allows for like this customization, and it keeps you in it for a very long time, and it keeps it fun. It keeps it
Yes.
fun.
Yes, because loving the process is like one of the most important things, and I think that's what Tonal also does well, and you guys as coaches on Tonal, that it doesn't seem like, at least for me, it does seem like a workout and a training, but you guys always keep it so fun, and it definitely keeps everybody like wanting to come back and seeing you guys on Tonal is inspiring when you guys are all doing amazing things. And as we're talking about that amazing thing, so how tell us about your like Ironman training. And I know you just had your sprint race that you placed in, homie.
Yeah, that was unexpected, man. I didn't see that coming. I didn't see that coming. Yeah, we got second in the Clydesdale division, which is also cool that they made that division for the big boys.
That was hilarious. Like when I was searching for you on the list, I was like Clydesdale. I'm like, because I know your friend owns that horse brand, right? Your hat that
Oh,
you wear all the
Siegelman
time.
Stables. Yeah, Siegelman Stables. Shout
Yeah.
out to Max. Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
and I was like, did Joe think of that name? Because I'm like your friend, and I'm like, wait a second, and I like look, and I was like, oh my god, that is class. That was
No, it's
so
crazy.
class.
When signing up for it, it just said like, which division are you in? And I saw that for 220 pounds and up. And I was like, that's crazy. I didn't know that existed. I'm
I
like, this is
gotta freak.
awesome. This is perfect.
I'm a Clydesdale.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, me and my buddies were joking about that nonstop. So we're like, that's the only way that we would place in these events is like they get like 220 pounds and up. No, man, these other guys are cooking. Are you kidding me? Oh, cooking. They're flying. So yeah, that's great.
I was like, when I died laughing when you said you're like, I need a bigger bike. I was like, it's like Jaws. It's like, I think we need a bigger boat.
God, man. Yeah. The gear.
Joe.
The gear. I've had that bike for a long time. I've had that bike since like, I don't know, I got it in Charlotte, like in, I don't know, 2015,
Oh
let's
wow,
say.
okay.
So it's held up. It's a great bike. I mean, Cervelo makes like good bikes and all that, and it's doing well. But yeah, for this race, I'm going to need a
It's gonna
new
be an
bike.
investment. It's gonna be an investment.
Going to be an investment.
It's
Yeah.
like buying a car.
Lena's going to have to start making money on social media.
Lena, put the paws out, girl. Just put the paws out.
Yeah, put them out, man. Just at home sleeping.
Ah. But so with because when I was tracking you, you always now with Ironmans, because I don't know anything about Ironmans. I'm a newbie at all this. Is it always swim first?
Always.
It's
It's always
always
swim, bike
swim
run.
first.
Always swim, bike run. Every time. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because
And
the swim's too crazy. Like, if you had that last, it's no good. People struggle most on the swim. I
okay,
cannot imagine.
good.
Oh my God. I cannot imagine that swim being last. No way. No way.
Speaking of since we're in block 2 of our workout with Joe, it's time to take a knee. It is time to take a Joe knee, and I have, yes, clap it up. This is some brain food for you guys. I have thought about this question to ask him since he's had his race, and we've talked about doing this podcast. So as someone who lifts myself, and I've done races, I've ran marathons, I've done a whole bunch of other races, and in those moments I had music in my head. You have people cheering on the sidelines for you, you have scenery that's around you, but when you are in a swim, you have nothing. Like, where does your does your mind go somewhere? Like, what are you telling yourself? And especially when you're out in open water versus when you were when you do your pool training at the
Yeah.
gym, like, where do you go in those moments when all you hear is probably just rushing water and you don't know where you're, like I said, I've never swam in an Ironman before. Like, how do you know where you are? And like, what is going through your mind at that moment?
Well, it's kind of two different things for me at this moment because the open water is like certainly different. And to be honest, I have a lot of work to do there. Like I did not like my performance in the race, like with the open water, like, cause that was my first experience with that. And so I was straight survival mode, like on that swim, like truly. I was like, I just have to get through this because like what I had been training for and working on was not translating when I was in that water. Cause
Oh
I
wow.
couldn't
Okay.
get my heart rate to settle. My heart rate was actually jacked from the beginning. And so the thing with swimming is like you need to keep a very calm nervous system. Like, so if you feel like anxiety or anxious or anything like that, and your heart rate starts to jack, your breathing gets like very sharp. And so that's what was happening to me is like, I'm seeing people around me. The water is very murky. There was like no visibility.
Hmm.
So the only visibility you get is like looking out or sighting. Right. And when I was catching my breath, I didn't feel like I could get enough breath to really settle myself. So I felt like I was out of breath the entire time.
Oh, wow.
So I started to just like kind of I got through that swim on pure will. And on in the pool, it's much more I love the silence. Like I look for that. It's why I think I'm like enjoying swimming actually. And I just look to calm myself. So like I just try to find like I just keep repeating things like staying smooth, smooth is fast, like those things that I teach, like even in class with lifting of just like trying to connect. And like more than anything, I'm connecting right now to how my body is moving in unison. Like I'm just trying to create a feel for the water. So like for me, it's a feel right now of staying calm and creating like a groove and a rhythm when I'm in that water right now.
And that's hard. I mean, that's like, I mean, because let's be honest, Joe, you're pretty intense.
Yeah, when I'm lifting, for sure.
Like, I
Sure.
mean, like swimming is like, I mean, that is very different than
Different
having
energy.
corn in your head, playing
Yeah.
shoots and ladders.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's just like, how do you like is like, it's just like what are you doing now, Joe? Oh, I listen to Shoots and Ladder and Corn, and then I go on a swim, and I'm like completely comme ça,
Yeah,
like
like
woosah.
yeah. I guess you guys probably think I'm crazy, huh? Y'all think I'm nuts.
We think, I mean, there are days. Let's be honest, there are days. Um, but it is like how you like kind of going back to this like Joe take a knee thing is
Yeah, yeah,
how
yeah.
you're able to be at a level, like let's kind of use like how you are in a on a leg day, like the level that you get to and the level that you're able to bring yourself back to and calm to is absolutely skill, because I know I'm hitting pause 15 billion times on you and telling you to wait. And I'm just like, Joe, you're able to compose yourself so quickly. Like, what has helped you be able to
Uh,
like get to that point to where that like for your training now, from being able to compose yourself, from because going from swimming to cycling to running, I mean, that's very different energy that you're going to be pushing.
yeah, yeah. Katie, I love this question. I've never been asked this before. I think that this is I think this is what I've been training for like my whole life. I think this is years. So if we're really being honest about like what my goal has been in my life with my own development from like being a kid in college, going into the professional world, getting into weightlifting, becoming a coach, it
Mhm.
has been how can I create a calmness within myself while executing at an incredibly high level while staying as calm as possible. And because I was a very anxious kid, like I actually have struggled with anxiety most of my life. And so when I would go into some of these castings when I was young or standing in line for auditions, I would get a lot of anxiety. I would have a lot of self-doubt. I faced it like with sport, through any of these big moments, I would like feel a rush within me, right? Well, I learned to turn that actually into a way when I'm in the moment of turning it on. And I learned it to make it serve me that if it's like we're rolling, I would just like flip a switch and I could like turn it on. But the calm down for me was really difficult then because I felt like I would crash. And I started to try to integrate that self where it's like you can be this and still get down to this. So it's like you have access to all these points, and that just took a lot of years, man. It took a lot of years. And like, honestly, I've had a great therapist for like the last 12 years that we talk about performance like type coaching and mindset type stuff for this to become a bit of a better leader. So there's a lot of internal work of what causes, the heightened, say, moments where you kind of get a little too high and out of control, right? And back to calm. But then the practices of like a lot of float tanks and sensory deprivation tanks, meditation. That's where the yoga in Cape Town came in for me, of like learning to sit with yourself, with your thoughts, and like let things fall. Shelby and I with yoga talk about this quite a lot. Like Shelby's stance on this and like her understanding is really incredible in this arena. And then I would study from examples. I think some of the best in the world, if you look at like these incredible athletes like a Michael Jordan, and like some of the best leaders, that's the quality that they have, is like in the middle of chaos at the highest, most, what you would think is the most nerve-wracking, highest stakes situation. They're this. They're just like, and so then it becomes like this game of like, I know how to turn it on when it's necessary. So now it's like you're in control. It's like if I need to get amped, I know how to get amped. If I need to flip a switch and turn it on, I know how to turn it on. But if I need to calm it down, you know how to calm it down. And then inside yourself, this has been the thing with the triathlon I've been wanting to tap into. It's like my greatest challenge with all this for me, because it's like kind of testing me to prove like, what I've grown into, and like, and can I really tap into this? And that's why the swim has kind of been the biggest challenge for me so far with this, right? Is learning that, and so, yeah, there's a lot to talk about there, but I think that's kind of like, it's a big evolution, honestly.
It is because many tonal people can maybe, feel the same way as panic sets in, and you're in a lift or you're in a heavy session, panic sets in. And sometimes where chaos, like you said, chaos starts and you have to center yourself to bring yourself back. And I think that's like one of the most amazing things, like watching you as a coach, like I said, watching you coach is how you're able to do that. And it definitely has taught me a lot of that, is being able to calm myself down, because it does. You do. The panic sets in. You see the weight, you feel it, and you're like, crap, am I going to be able to get this up or not? Or am I able to do this? And I think that's one of the things that you've always taught me, is that you just don't quit. Whatever it is you have to do to finish, or whatever, to accomplish the main thing, is you just don't quit. And I think that's for some things, like the things that you say in class, that's what gets a lot of us through classes on tonal, is the words that you say when it is the hard thing. And that's like, when you were going for your race, it's just like, I hope you hear all the wonderful things that you tell us, because it means so much to us. So I'm telling you this, but I'm hoping that you hear everything that you share with us, because it means everything. So when you say it's hard and you're struggling, you are amazing. And all of us are so thankful for you on tonal,
Oh, that means a lot,
Joe.
Katie. Thank you, Katie. That
You're
meant a
welcome.
lot. I really appreciate that.
And I think that's important sometimes, because we're in the realm of social media and stuff like that, and I think it's important that you know words mean a lot nowadays, and I think like the words that you guys say, it is very impactful, and you guys are changing lives. And I think that's one of the most another amazing thing about tonal, is that you guys are changing lives, and you guys may not even know it sometimes.
Well, I'll tell you this. I mean, I feel very close to this community. I mean, like we all really do. We've been with you guys for a while now, and like we see the stories, and we have a lot of communication with you guys. So like I feel like deeply connected to the work you guys are doing across this community, to where it's the same as like almost being in person to me. Like I feel like I know so many people individually with like what their progressions and struggles have been and what they've overcome. So I will say I'm very proud of the culture that we've been creating and continue to create at Tonal, because I think it's what I've always wanted, to be a part of, where like you have a very supportive community that's really interested in developing people the right way, and we're not in it for a shortcut or a hype. And, this industry, as much as I love it, there's a lot of pitfalls within it that I think we do a disservice to people. And I wanted to be a part of that solution, and I'm really, really grateful for what we're doing at Tonal, because that's why I love it so much, because I feel like we really are making that work count. Because the words do matter. Like what you say matters. And before you say something, it should be something you truly believe, especially when you're in a role as, as we are, where we have the privilege of being able to guide you guys. Like, these words matter. You're going to listen to them. And so when I say things, like, I only say them when I believe in them. Like, I do them, or I have had this experience, because I think that makes you coach better too. And that's certainly been the case for me. And that's been the reason for this training for the Ironman. I can tell you sincerely, it scares the shit out of me. It is not my strength. It is not my natural position. And I could absolutely, and I battled with this. I could have easily just kept doing what I was doing. I was fine. I had a great routine. I'm building muscle. I'm doing my thing. I'm good at it. I'm known for it, etc. But but I never got into training for that. It was always a mental and human development side for me. Like, if you look at my entire life, that's what this is about. The training, the method you take is just to help you get somewhere in who you're growing into as a person, and that vehicle changes. And
Hmm.
so, that vulnerability of doing things you're not good at and then overcoming them is the entire point. So while I'm doing this, it makes me remember my first time attacking a deadlift, because I was nervous the first time that I did that shit.
Yeah.
I remember it very well. Because Alonzo, my buddy, my boy, I love this guy. He changed my fitness life. He was like, "You're going to deadlift today." And I was like, "No, sir, I don't do that. I hurt my back a long time ago." And he was like, "You can do that. We're going to start with 135 and we're going to do these reps." And he made me do it. This is during COVID. We did it. And then he was like, the next month goes by and he's like, "We're going to do 225." And I was like, "No, man, I cannot. My back, I can't do this, man." But we freaking did it. And we did like 200 reps of that shit. And then another month goes by and he sees me doing 225 and doing it well. And then he goes, "Nah, 315, stack it up." And I'm like, "Oh my God." Like, I was
Yeah.
nervous. Hell, man. We all need people like that?
We do. We do. To push us out of our comfort zones. It's so important. That's great how we're
Yeah.
going to kind of go into the next block of our training workout is talking about tonal and like your whole entire journey as you were like talking about how you've been transformative in your, how you train, but you've also been transformative on tonal. My first day on tonal was Joe's first day on tonal. I've trained with Joe since he started, and it's been amazing to see, because like I said, I always go back to Power Build, which was Joe's first program, and now progressing with Joe and taking his newer programs. It's just as you as a coach from the day one till now, thank you. You are you've always been so genuine in your delivery and how much you care. And I think for me, that was one of the things that I was like, yeah, that's my guy. That's the guy that's going to teach me how to lift. And I think that's one of the things that a lot of us women feel for you is that you are so genuine in your delivery and how you want to make a difference. And people can feel that coming off the screen from you. So it's from you have not you Joe have never changed from day one Joe to now, and I can tell you that is not normal. And that is what is amazing about you is that you have never changed. You've cared from day one to now.
Gonna get me emotional, man. Yeah.
Okay. You have. And I think that your delivery, and I think that's why you speak to so many of us women that are wanting to take up space, that are wanting to build muscle. I mean, I can remember my younger self coming to you and saying, I'm going to bench 75 pounds. And you were like, wow, that's a big goal.
Mm.
And now I can bench 100.
Yeah.
And I think that is what you are capable of doing through a screen. And that is, and as a coach, I just want you to know that that is like throughout the community, we all feel that. Like we all want to make you proud. We all want to like freaking slay your workouts. We all, we truly enjoy showing up every day in all your programs, joking around with you. And, it is such an amazing experience taking your programs. And we all look forward to training with you. And we just want you to know that we appreciate how genuine you are.
Wow, thank you so much. It's one of the best compliments I've ever gotten. Thank you. It's
Because it's hard for women, it's like, you
I know.
think, a guy won't understand, right? Or a guy can't, that whole thing of men can't coach women, and muscle is muscle, right?
Yeah,
And it is, the end goal is the same. Muscle doesn't know if you're women or men. It just know, like you said, mechanical tension, right?
yeah. Yeah, I've never seen it like that. Like ever since I started coaching, I truly, because I get asked this like now, right? They're like, "Who's your audience?" Right? Who are you speaking to? Like we're doing a lot of work on social media, right? And it's like, well, your audience is clearly male. You speak to men of this age group, and that's who you talk to. I was like, I don't know, man. I think I speak a lot to women too, right? And like when um when I get asked these questions, because we've had a lot of people ask us about this, in my
Right.
head it was like, I'm talking to a person, man. I'm talking to
Right.
a human being that wants to get better. Like, I don't give a damn if you are a
Right.
man, woman, or I do not care. I'm like, do you want to get better? And when I was around those people in the gym, it was a passion, it was a hunger for wanting to grab onto information, man. That is what I I understand that because I have been that, like I try to coach based on honestly what I needed as a kid. And I think a lot of us as coaches do that. Like I needed this because I was always hungry. I wanted to learn. I was willing to work. I would have given you all the time in the world. I'd listen. I would do what you say. Like just let me grind, let me work. But I just want to trust it. Like give me somewhere that I can go and I will give you everything I got. And it seems so simple, but that's like it's hard to find.
It is.
It's hard to
It
find it
is.
trust. Like I had a very hard time finding it.
And I think for men, with building muscle and size, but for women, it's hard to find a coach that will be like, let's build muscle and size, talking about fueling your body. And I think, like, I'll also add, like, what you talk about in your classes when you're talking about food a lot and you're talking about fueling and you're talking about, I had pasta and me and Tina had pizza. And, you're filling our brains with
Yeah.
such unintentionally filling our brains with so much of what we need now more than ever.
Oh, it's intentional. I speak about that food intentionally.
I don't know how you don't make yourself hungry.
I do make myself hungry, but I will for the food. But I do. I obviously freaking love food. We eat like crazy around here. But real quick, and I wanted to make another point too that I thought was important. But the food, it also became important because like I worked with a dietitian for a long time, Ryan Turner, who's a great friend of mine.
Mhm. Me too.
And we always dealt with people that had unhealthy relationships with food. And I've been around this like throughout my entire life. I've had an unhealthy relationship with food of like, you've been deprived, you restrict, you go like, I got to weigh this and weigh that and only bland stuff, right? Chicken and rice, broccoli, blah, blah, blah. And like, you can get results doing that, whatever. But I was like, I want to have an empowering relationship with food. I want to lift and eat foods that I freaking love. Life is too
Right.
short. I want to go to Italy and I want to eat that pasta. I want to go to Europe and I want to have that meal. I want to have pizza on a Friday. So like, I just wanted to start to change and socialize the conversation of like, I can lift and train and eat healthy and eat the food that
Yes.
I can like. I can be responsible with it, right? I can have,
Mhm.
but I can also like I can have a good time without feeling like an asshole about it. And so that was important to me to do. Well, let me say this, because I've thought about this a lot too. I want to say this, for especially for the women that take our classes, because like I think we have an insanely incredible group of women that live with us. Um, I know that I speak a lot to men in our community, right? And I've worked with both a lot of men, a lot of women, all these group fitness classes. When I think about the psychology of this, women impress me more, and here is why. When you think about men and the obstacles that they have to face when it comes to building muscle and putting on size, it is almost none. There is no one in my life that has told me I should get smaller that I should be worried about being too big, that I shouldn't lift the weight because you're going to get too bulky. I've never dealt with that except for my experience in the modeling industry. If I'm being honest, modeling industry did tell me to be small, but men are encouraged to lift more. You're encouraged to take up rooms. You're encouraged to be bigger and bigger and bigger. When I think about the women that I've worked with, they have to overcome all of that. So like all their lives that they've been told, like, you should be smaller. You shouldn't be you're going to look like a man if you lift. If you lift too much, you're going to get bulky. You're going to lose your femininity. Um, well, if you shouldn't eat that much because you're going to you have so many psychological barriers that are quite frankly bullshit. So when I look at the woman that has gotten strong, that lifts crazy great weight, that is consistent with their training, that isn't afraid of the lifts and is lifting at an elite level, I go, that is one of the strongest humans that you can meet. Not just because of what they're doing physically, but because what they had to come over and overcome psychologically on their own, yourself in the mirror and say, I'm going to ignore that and I believe in myself to do this. And that's why most of the women that I work with, I respect more because that is a grounded, self validated level of confidence that cannot be taken away. And if there is something that I try to translate to the men in our community and to every man that I talk to, it is to obtain that level of confidence because that is something that is only given by overcoming something incredibly difficult. And it's only done through yourself. It's not done through others validating what you do. It's a different place. It's a deeper place. And if we can get there, I think all of us are better for it. So I will say that to you. I've never said that before on a mic and I freaking have been wanting to, and it's awesome.
That's a fist pump moment.
Yeah, dude.
But that's like, it truly is because as somebody that, when I first started training on tonal, and I know I've been very vocal about my story, is when I first started on tonal, I had an eating disorder. I think I was eating once a day and I was constant cardio, constant, that feeling of I have to earn my food, or I was afraid of getting bigger. I was afraid of all of this and thinking I was going to build muscle at the same time. And like I said, it took seeing you. And I think people joke about that. Katie, you're like a mini Joe. But in my head, that's what helped me because like, yes, never will I be the size of you. But in my head, I was like, I see myself in him because of what your story, what you overcame, how you changed your mindset, how your training is really impactful for us women because we see ourselves, maybe, you don't have the same struggles or same things that we go through, but you know what it feels like to like change how you look at yourself in the mirror and be proud of the person that you're building, not just on the outside, but on the inside. And I know you talk a lot about this, that
Mhm.
it's not so much about what we're doing on the outside that matters. It's the work that we are doing on the inside that matters the most. And you've built my confidence up. Like I have confidence because of you. The girl that you met 4 years ago is nowhere here to be seen. And I think, like you were talking about, for us women getting through that, I think that is the hardest thing. And you have to have people around you that you can lean on. And I think that with tonal, I think that is one of the most amazing thing about you guys, you guys coaches, is that you guys are always there for us. Ash was always speaking about taking up space, be your strongest self, don't shrink yourself, don't suck in, take up
Yeah, man.
space.
Yep.
And it's those conversations that, like, when we hear you guys talking about that, it is so impactful.
Yeah. Ash and Woody do an insanely good job with doing
Yes.
exactly that with like, and they live it, man. They live such a great example of it. Like they are not afraid of being exactly who they are, of stepping into who they are, of lifting strong and powerfully, and like they're excellent example. Like we were very lucky to have them. And I will say this too. You gave yourself confidence, Katie. I did not do that. It's not. I know what you mean by that, but
Okay.
understand that it's you. I may have guided, but that's
But
you.
you made it fun. And I think like you made it like it wasn't a, I stopped worrying about how I looked. and more about me wanting to make you proud as a coach. And I think that's one of the things that like I talk a lot about people when they talk about like, like I see myself as, like a Padawan. And I always say like I'm little Padawan to Joe because that's what I'm learning from. And I think that is it changed how I look at training where it's not so much, yes, the muscle's great, looking jacked is great,
Yeah.
but it's more about what I'm able to do now, not so much about what is happening on the outside. And that's what a lot of times when I'm helping some of the ladies in the tonal community is I said, don't worry about what the scale is. Don't worry about what the number is on the screen. I was like, think about what your body can do now that it could never do before, because
Yeah.
my smallest self could never, ever accomplish what I've accomplished now,
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah. Isn't it a much more empowering feeling too?
It is.
In that
It
place?
is. It is. And I think it's because you inspire people that you don't even know that you inspire, which is crazy to me because I'll get some messages from some of the men in the community and they'll ask me about my arms and I definitely take it back. I'm like, "Oh, what? You want to know about my arm workout?"
Yeah, dude. Nice. Nice, Katie. Yeah, man.
I'm like, "You want to know you want to know about my arm workout?" I'm like, "It's full reps, homeboys. It's
Dropping.
it's
That's
it's
right.
it's full reps.
Full
There's
rate.
there's no half reps here.
No swaying. Yeah.
No. No, we don't we don't sling the weight here. Joe would know about it. And that's another thing when people are like, you always post your workouts. And I said, you know what? I said, that's the accountability thing.
Yeah.
I said, I'm owning it. And I said, I want people to see the whole process. Cause when I was starting out my journey, I had you to look at, but I want women to see somebody that, like I said, is a mini Joe, that you can see the results of just putting in the work and putting your head down and just, trusting the process and
Yeah.
not being afraid to dial it back, not being afraid to, take on an advanced program. Because I can remember, like, I think Power Build was like it was like my first program on Tonal was Power Build.
Yeah.
And I think like I said, with people and, the beginner, intermediate, and advanced, yes, sequences are different and here and there, but the program can meet you where you are. It's like I said, it's the learning process that you learn in these programs that I think is the most pivotal thing.
No, it is. It is. Look, you always scale the weight back. Yeah, we used to teach in a room where we would do one strength workout for the entire room, whether you were an advanced lifter or beginner. I've had a room with professional athletes and someone who's never lifted before, and we ran the same exact program. There's ways to modify. What
Yep.
makes it advanced is like either the weight, right, itself, which you're in control of, reduce the weight, or if some of the sequences can be a little difficult, you can always sub the moves out. But it's like
Right.
get acclimated and get into that space for sure. Like you can always slow things down, hit the pause and all that type of stuff. But any program can truly be modified.
I love it. All right, so this is our last block. We are in the final home stretch, and it is this is probably the part I definitely have some fun questions in here, but you guys
Yeah.
sent me some questions for our homeboy. Is block 4? We're going to left field. If you guys don't know what left field is for Joe, let me explain. Have you ever taken a Joe class and everything is going copacetic, and all of a sudden Joe just comes like out of nowhere with some funny story that you're like, did that just happen? And then you're like, yeah, that just happened. That is Joe left field. That is Joe left field. Because I have many quirky things from my training with Joe. And one of them, let's just start. So when you see the Sade username, does it make you laugh inside?
Yeah. Sade. I laugh with the crew every time because they're always like, "You're like Sade." Yeah, man, it's awesome.
So you guys, the Sade story. So Joe has this reel of him. He was rolling out his lats, and he's like, God, who was doing the voice? Kevin Hart. It was Kevin Hart.
Oh,
And it was like making my sweat. That's just my muscles.
oh
So I
yeah.
have this thing about, Sade smooth operator because Joe doing that reel. And especially, Joe loves a good hamstring stretch. We all know if he
I
can
do.
add those in, he is adding in the hamstring stretch.
I do. They're effective, man. They're effective. What can I say?
That like when you take a program, somebody could show me what their most move that they did that program. I could tell them exactly what
Yeah.
program that is.
Yeah. That's a cool, we should do that actually.
Because I never, you would think with a Joe program you'd get deadlift or bench. I very rarely ever get bench or push-ups as my most move done in a tonal, but I do get line hamstring stretch.
Line hamstring stretch. It does. It pops up. I see it. It's pretty funny.
All right. Another question for you is, have you been training with your wife? Because all the ladies want to know what is up with the glute gains.
You're talking about my glute gains or my wife's glute gains?
Oh God, yours. I was like, how do I say this? You guys are going to make me ask him what his glute workout. I'm like, out of all questions, you want to know what Joe's glute workout is. Are you guys like, because it was after that picture I posted. Everybody was like, when did Joe get glutes?
I mean, come on now. That's rude. I've had a glute
And I said,
gain.
he must be working out with Tina.
Yeah. Well, Tina's also got some glute gains lately too, man. She's been killing it. We got locked in, son. I don't know. We got that programming locked in. It was during that hypertrophy phase. I was like hitting glutes like twice a week, and I was programming Tina too. So we were lifting. We always go, like, we're at the gym today together. We always like lift together when we can, but I'll program for her too from time to time. Yeah, man. That's funny though.
We were all just like, it was just like, I'm like, I was like, I just noticed it. I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, I will ask him what his glute workout has been. But I said, Joe's very just compounds with your lower body moves, right? Or are you switching it up now with training?
Well, it's different now. When I was like when I was putting on size, like the hypertrophy stuff, I was running like the 2 leg days every week, like 2 uppers, 2 lowers. And so I would always get, good glute work on both days. You gotta isolate, man. That's the whole point. I was like lifting like a bodybuilder. It was like a lot of hip thrusts, single leg hip thrusts, RDLs. I was doing deficit RDLs, the belt squat machine, split squats at a deficit, Bulgarians at a deficit, step ups. No kickbacks though. But kickbacks.
Oh, come on, Joe. We're all waiting. That was another question. Are we ever going to see Joe do the ankle straps?
Right. Jenna wants me to. Jenna wants me to do kickbacks. To get the dudes to start doing kickbacks.
I would pay. I would pay big money. Like, what membership do I need? Well, let alone, I heard you did Pilates as well.
For sure. Yeah, I did it with Kristen when we were like demoing Pilates. Yeah.
How did that go for you?
You kicked my butt. It's all the small muscles, man. Like, that's when Kristen was like, we call this the tremor of terror. And I'm like, what did you just say, man? It's not like something I would say. What is this torture device? The body is crazy. It's like you don't even know what's happening. It's like so slow, and like I'm doing the splits for some reason, and I'm like, how did I get out here? And how do I get back?
Well, we all do get a little bit of joy when you have to do Frogger. Just saying. We all get a little bit of joy in that moment when all us ladies have to see you do Frogger, because
Maybe
we're like,
this do it a lot better than I do, huh? Remove sauce.
You could tell it in your face. That's why it's so funny, because we're just like, he put us through it. Now, do you guys get to pick your cool downs, or do you guys just kind of have that all set?
Yeah, we do it. I do that to myself. I'll throw that in. Yeah.
I did not know that.
Uh-huh.
So every single time you do Frogger, you are inflicting that on yourself?
Most of the time, yes.
Okay. Oh.
No. I do. I do this to myself. I do. I practice what I preach, man. The shit I tell you, I do it. Wow. Yes, I do it. I don't like it, but I do it.
That is okay. So that brings a lot more joy to my heart that you do it intentionally.
I do, I do. Same with Copenhagen's. When we were doing, like, the Copenhagen and Unleashed,
Unleashed.
you know what happened? This always happens to me, though. We were filming moves, and we were filming the Copenhagen plank, like, for moves, the displays that you see on Tonal, where it's like,
Uh,
we'll come across for the demos. So we're doing it, we gotta hold it so long when we're doing those. And so, like, I'm doing this for, like, 40 seconds, and I'm like, "Oh my god." Like, I'm like, "I hate these things." So it made me put them in my program because I'm gonna be so good at these by the end of the year.
It truly is unleashed because I know one of other tonal members, Amy. We've talked about it. Like we need to keep those added in, like do those as an add-on.
Yeah, they're really good. Never remove them. Always have them.
Yeah, those are really good. But that's definitely interesting that you guys kind of like make things I thought it was just always programmed out to in the programs, but knowing that you guys do that intentional to yourselves, that makes me happy.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I certainly do. I certainly do. I'm like, we're gonna make this thing.
All right. So another question was, what are some movies or series you and Tina have been watching?
Ooh, we just finished The Beast in Me on Netflix.
That's the chef one, right? Is that the
No,
one with the cook? No. Oh,
no. He's like, I forget the actor, but because I didn't, it was Claire Danes. Claire Danes is in it. She's a journalist and a writer. And then the opposite is like this billionaire who's making like Hudson Yards, basically, like Jarvis Yards, they call it. And
uh,
it's a thriller of a show. Very good. Very
hmm,
good. Obsession. Have you seen the movie Obsession?
uh-uh.
Horror film. Maybe one of the, I think it, for me, top horror film I've ever seen in my life. And we love horror films.
I did not know that. I was just about to ask you what was y'all's favorite genre of movies.
We love horror.
I did not know that.
We love horror and thrillers. We're kind of, yeah, we're wild, man. We hunt them down. We actually
How
love
have you not talked about this in class? Like how has this not come up? Okay,
Dude,
so
I don't
okay,
know. Yeah.
let's I need to know, are we classic? Like are we black and whites like Night of the Living Dead fans or like Poltergeist? Like are we old school?
New school, all the new
New
stuff.
school.
All the new
Okay.
stuff, like the stuff that's coming out with like A24 and like Blumhouse, like the stuff that they're doing, like love, 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 love. Obsession was unbelievable. Like the actress that pulled that off, it was one of the best performances I've like ever seen.
Okay, now I'm gonna have to watch it.
She just got casted to be Rogue in the new X-Men, by the way. So like that
Oh,
movie blew her up. She were like, holy cow, she's insane. And so she just got that big break that happened. Cause that was like her first big film. Um, what was the other one? Talk to me or something like that, where it's like the hand, you touch the hand and then you like become, you go into a parallel universe. I don't know if you've seen that one.
uh-uh.
Now I'm forgetting the names of these. I'll do a
I
post
can't
on them.
I
Yeah.
can't believe I did not know this about you guys.
Yeah. We
You
love
guys
it.
are leaving out some pivotal information because Halloween's coming up, and that's like good information to know.
Yeah. Actually, I'll make a little list of some of our favorite horrors then.
Yes,
Yeah.
that
I'll
is,
do a run back. Yeah.
and I did not know that about Tina that she likes horror movies too. What's
Yeah.
her favorite?
Obsession was up there for her
Really?
too. Yeah.
Okay.
We
Okay,
were
so I
both
need
on
to watch it now. All
Um,
right.
she loves anime too. She's gotten me into anime. She's a huge anime fan.
Oh, it is huge anime in this house. My daughter
Yeah.
is a huge anime fan. Yes. So she is I swear she's going to have us take her to Japan and she's going to be our translator because she's learning Japanese and it's absolutely
Wow. Wow.
I'm
Wow.
like I'm like little girl, but she's huge. Like we have to like we have this we met this from this little shopper group, this person that lives in Japan, and we order all of our anime stuff from them and they ship it
Yeah.
to us. So
That's
it's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing. But that's awesome. So Tina's anime. You guys like horror movies. Okay, so were we
yeah.
reading any good books? Because I know you and Tina like to read books. Any
Yeah, we
interesting
definitely
ones now?
we do. Tina likes to read actually. I mean, she reads mostly like like anime. What is that called? Like the comic book version of anime. It's slipping my mind right now, but she reads those before they come out even.
Oh,
Um
okay.
so she's big into like those stories. I'm reading I read boring stuff. I read stuff about like psychology. So that's
So
fun.
you know what, Joe? we just talked about how you watch horror movies, and
Yeah.
now we're talking about you reading psychology.
Yeah. Yeah.
So does that mean do you dive into, like, because a lot of it, I mean, I love true story. Like, I love court cases.
Mhm.
Like, diving into, like, the whole, court cases and stuff like that, like true
Yeah. Yeah.
stories.
Okay. Yeah. There's a big crowd of people that love that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's been a big thing.
And that
Yeah.
is a big I've realized that when there was this one court case that everybody was watching, and I literally watched like a fan for like 3 days straight because we were like waiting for the jury to come back or whatever. And it's like it's all us women, which is funny
Yeah.
because it's just like we're like, okay, why do we all like this kind of stuff? It's kind of weird.
Maybe it's the same as like how men just are like, I want to study World War II, you know? Like, I don't know. Like we just all get down some kind of History Channel lane.
Those Marcus Aurelius quotes get you every
Yeah.
single time.
Anything with I mean, I love stoicism for sure. It's been abused for sure, but like it's a great book. But I love reading psychology. I've always read like anything that has to do with like human development because that's like always where I have always been interested, you know, for myself, but also where I coach from. So like if it's like a leadership book or things about like team culture, you know, performing under pressure, redefining like how you see hard. And like right now I'm reading this book by it's called The Further Reaches of Human Nature, and it's by Maslow. It's a super dense book. It's taken me forever, but it's about self-actualization, like what it means to actually self-actualize as a human being. And it's been pretty amazing.
I'm telling you, I'm stunned by the stuff I learned from you on this podcast. And I'm sure a lot of us are. We're definitely like, people are going to be like, does he
Yeah.
really watch horror movies? And then he starts talking about stoicism. And I'm like, yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
It's all over the
That's
place, man. Big
because,
range.
okay. So what playlist are you listening to? Like, what's a new band that you're listening to?
Glad you went there. Because I was gonna say, you guys are probably gonna be also equally surprised that as much as I love things like, you know, Linkin Park and Corn and
Okay. Who took you to Armin van Buren? Was it Tina?
yeah,
Was it her idea?
yeah.
Love that for you.
Yeah, we're gonna go see who is it, man? Ah, who's this new DJ? Hold on, I'm gonna figure this out. There's another DJ that we're seeing this week, or not this week, next month. Next month, I'm gonna tell you right now.
That's so
You got
awesome.
this in the playlist. I swear to God, I was just John Summit. We're gonna go see John
Oh,
Summit.
stop. We're going to see John Summit in October.
Oh, for real? I think we see him
Yeah.
before you, September. Yeah,
Well, of course, because you saw Youngblood too.
yeah. He was so good.
That was, oh my God, in City Hall. That must have been absolutely amazing
Well,
there.
I'll tell you what's funny about that is like because we talk about this, right? Because like that was the day of the Knicks finals game. It was like game 4, maybe something like that. Like it was one of their comeback wins. It was like they just got home and like they were getting beaten down and they came back and won with that like tip in shot, you know. But we
Yeah.
were at the concert when that game was going down and we caught the end later. But Youngblood was trying so hard to like hype up this crowd, right? Like we're at Radio City, and so it's all seats. So Youngblood like has energy, like as you know, the dude,
Yes.
like he's like
Yes.
full out, right? And so we're
Right.
like respect to this guy, but he's telling people to stand up, get on your shoulders, all this stuff. But like at Radio City, you have seats. It's not like an open space, so like people were sitting down, and he kept
Oh,
stand up, stand up, stand. He wouldn't let it go. The entire like 2 hours, he would not stop telling people like, get up, man. He was like actually mad at us for not bringing more energy.
oh my gosh. That's crazy. Oh, yeah, because I'm sure so it's probably like stadium seating, right? So you kind of like at a tilt there.
Yeah, exactly. It was like balconies and stuff too. So it was like just how he
Oh,
does
yeah.
is like way better when it's like wide open spaces, you know, like general admission, and you can just like get in mosh pits and stuff like that because his music and how that's what he wants to do. But like,
Yeah.
yeah, Radio City, you're just literally there's nowhere to go, right? You're
You're
just
just like, this is it, bro. This is all I got.
all we got. Yeah. So it was crazy. But it
So
was
I mean,
really
you're talking about exciting things. So I just need to ask you: are you going to a Chicago Bears game this year? Because
man,
I know somebody that's going to a Chicago Bears game.
for real. Are you? You? Which
Yes.
one? Which one?
Atlanta.
Oh, at Atlanta?
Amy and I go in October.
Oh man, that's
She's
at
she's
Atlanta.
she's flying here.
That's aw that's awesome. That's awesome. No,
We
I'm
are
not.
we are 30 rows from the field.
Oh, that's gonna be so sick. Oh man, I'm jealous. No.
And I'm on the bear and we are on the bear side.
Oh, oh,
Amy's like, we're gonna have to like tag Joe in all of our pictures. And I'm like, yep. I'm
yeah,
like,
you're gonna have to. I'm gonna man, that's well, I'm so happy for
see,
you. It's gonna be so sick.
that's what hey, add your maybe Tina, tell her, be like, Chicago's really nice, really nice. Just Tina, take one for the team and go to Soldier Field before they move.
I know, which yeah, we'll save that conversation for another day. Yeah, so mad. I'm so mad.
It's
And then you're
I know, me too. Me too. But
yeah,
that
I
like
was looking. I want to go. We'll see if we can make it happen. Yeah,
you guys need to go. You
yeah.
guys need to go. That's what like Aaron's like. He goes, if that because Soldier Field, man, when you're on Lake Michigan, nothing is like that monster there. Like
Right.
nothing.
And I've never been literally in my life. So
This is my first Bears game too.
that's crazy, man.
So you guys need, so I've seen Blackhawks, I've seen the
I've never,
Cubs.
yeah,
Speaking of Cubs, way to go, Tina, for that throwing out the pitch at that game. That
yeah.
was freaking epic.
That was one of the, yeah, that was the easily top 5 moment of my life. That was
Oh
so
my
cool.
God. Oh
Yeah,
my God. Yeah. I was like, I could not have watched that story enough times. I was like, that is absolutely incredible
I couldn't
that
believe
you
that
got to do
happened.
that.
I couldn't believe it happened. It partly happened because the the COO for the Cubs is a tonal fan. This, yeah, Colin is the man. Colin is the absolute legend. And he was like, "Let's make this happen." I'm like, "It's so great, man." Yeah, and Tina surprised me with that, and I was like, "There's no way that this is happening right now."
Your face was priceless when
I,
she
cou-
was like, when she told you you're throwing it out. You're like, what?
I literally thought it was. I was like, "There's no, that's not. That's ridiculous." But
That's
I
so
freaking
awesome.
threw a strike though, man.
You did right down the pike.
A
Right down
beam.
the pike. It was solid, Joe. It was so solid.
Ian Happ came up to me because we were in the tunnel afterwards. Ian Happ came up to me and he was like, "Hey, nice freaking throw, buddy. Whipped it." And I was like, "Damn right,
That
Ian.
major day. Major day.
Game recognizes
Major day.
game, baby."
Oh my gosh, so funny. Oh my gosh, that's so great. But Joe, I just want to thank you so much for coming on this podcast and sitting down and chatting with me
Of
and,
course.
inspiring so much of us in this tonal community. If anything you would like to say to maybe a new tonal member is listening to this podcast and, maybe what would you want to say to possibly somebody starting a new tonal journey?
Oof. Just keep, just stay like, well, honestly, it's kind of reinforcing what we just talked about. Like, stay in the game. Stay in the game, learn the skill, and like surround yourself with really great people that are going to keep you committed and like loving the process. Cause that is a big takeaway. I think like if you want to make change in your life, then be around people that are already doing it because the energy is different. They're going to keep you in it. You're going to find joy within that. And like you'll find your way as you go. There's an evolution into it. So don't try to be perfect, just try to get better. And like you can't go wrong. There's a lot of love around this game and a ton of support here. So
100% solid, homie. As a tonal member for 4 years, I can't tell you how much this community and these coaches have changed my life. So trust the process, fall in love with the process, and remember the goal isn't just to become someone different, it's to bring that person that you always thought you could be alive. Thank you for joining Katie on Tonal. We'll see you next time.